about something no one prepared us for. Midlife hits and suddenly your body feels unfamiliar. That's exactly why I created the Midlife Upgrade 2-week challenge. Do you know if you're metabolically flexible? If the answer is, then this is for you. Because metabolic flexibility is the key to unlocking the chaos. It's what determines how your body uses fuel, manages cravings, and handles stress, and it's often the missing piece behind bloating, fatigue, and that stuck feeling so many of us experience in midlife. This isn't a diet, it's your reset. It's a way to get back in sync with your body without restriction or burnout. In just 14 days, you'll learn how to track what matters most, from your cycle to your blood sugar and ketones. You'll get daily email prompts from me, 2 live Q&As, and a simple plan that fits with your real life. Bring a few friends, because resetting, it's always better together, because this journey is better when you don't go at it alone. If your body's been whispering or maybe shouting for an upgrade, this is your sign. Join us inside the challenge. Let's make midlife your upgrade now. Tap the link in the show notes or head over to thewelldrop.com. Let's own your wellness today. Hi, I'm Amber Berger, and thank you for tuning into The Well Drop. Please subscribe and leave us a review. We are here to help you own your wellness. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, algae. And guiding us through this fascinating world is Catherine, the visionary founder, CEO, and Chief Scientific Officer of ENERGYbits. Catherine has pioneered the use of algae as a simple, effective nutritional solution designed to help manage health naturally. Whether you're a health enthusiast, a busy professional, or particularly a woman in midlife grappling with hormonal changes and health shifts, this episode promises crucial insights. We'll uncover how these tiny algae tabs, packed with energy and vitality, can dramatically enhance your health, discussing everything from the rich nutrient profiles to specific benefits like supporting hormonal balance, boosting cognitive function, and elevating energy levels. Catherine will also delve into the sustainable aspects of algae production, emphasizing why maintaining the highest standards of purity and quality is essential in their products. I want to share that on a personal note, I've been cycling these green pills for years, and I really find that they help give my skin that extra glow. It's amazing what a little bit of green can do. So if you're curious about integrating some serious green power into your diet and learning why algae might be the superfood you've been missing, you won't want to miss this discussion. Tune in as we unpack the science and success stories behind ENERGYbits, because it's not just food, it's powerful fuel for a healthy life. Catherine, thank you for joining us on The Well Drop.
Quite an introduction. Thank you.
I am so excited to discuss algae because I've been taking it on and off for years, and it's one of those things that I know that it's so good for us, but sometimes you need that reminder to continue taking it.
Yes.
Because there's so much information. We're always like bombarded. But really, these simple, natural forms of algae may just be what the doctor ordered.
Well, in fact, I think the thing that will surprise most people is that it's not a supplement; it's a food. In fact, it's not only a whole food; it's a foundational food. And I designed all the packaging so that you would keep it on your countertop and made them as attractive as possible, so that you wouldn't forget to take them, because this is not something you will be taking intermittently. This is something every single woman, every single person, in fact, should be taking every single day, because our food supply is so damaged. Our soils are overcropped. There's no nutrients in the soil anymore, so there's nothing for the plants to pull up. If you get anything from a grocery store, it's all over processed, loaded with sugars, loaded with seed oils. We are not being nourished, period. And this is why our bodies are not performing optimally. So it's the lack of nutrition. And the double whammy is we are surrounded by toxins. The average adult in North America now apparently has 700 toxins in their bodies. So spirulina is the nourishing algae, and you're going to find out chlorella, which we call ENERGYbits, is a detoxing algae. So they work in conjunction with one another, because you need to pull the toxins out so the nourishment can get in.
Yeah.
The way I describe it is like if you have a reserved parking spot and someone's taken your parking spot, you can't park. The toxins are parking on your cell membranes. So the nourishment that you should be getting can't get in. So you need to pull the toxins out so the nourishment can get in.
If you love diving into the latest wellness secrets on the podcast, then you're going to want to join my exclusive weekly newsletter. Get insider wellness tips you won't hear anywhere else. Be the first to know about my upcoming fasting workshops because let's be real, fasting is the secret weapon for surviving perimenopause. Access my weekly essentials, tools, and biohacks to help you thrive in midlife. I promise to make it worth your while, straight to the point, no fluff, just powerful tips to help you feel your best every single week. Don't miss out. Sign up now at thewelldrop.com. Let's take your wellness to the next level together. I think that's such a good point you bring up. And I love the concept of thinking of it as a food, not just a supplement, because our food system, unfortunately, is so depleted and we are malnourished. And if anybody's checking their labs, I tend to run deficient in a lot of things naturally. So that's sort of what led me to, chlorella, because I was having mercury toxicity. And I think that was my first introduction to it. How did you discover the power of algae?
Well, 16 or 17 years ago. So first of all, I'm Canadian, but I've lived in Boston for 35 years. And I mentioned the Canadian part because my family's still all in Canada. I only have 2 remaining family members. I have 2 sisters, very close to them. And 16 years ago, my baby sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, I want to assure everyone that she healed completely. But as she was preparing for her chemotherapy, her oncologist, which is a cancer specialist, told her she needed to change her diet to an alkaline diet.
Oh, yes.
Now, she didn't tell her what an alkaline diet was or why specifically it was good for her. So first thing my sister did after that appointment was to call me, her big sister who loves her. And I have an MBA. I'm a very good researcher. In fact, I recently got my PhD at the age of 58 or 68, I might say. Because I'll tell you now, I'm going to be 70 next year.
Oh, my God.
And I have been taking algae every single day since that moment I helped my sister.
Zoom in on the skin here.
Yes, exactly.
This is ridiculous.
And I don't use Botox or anything. I know, 70, right? I'm almost 70, not there. But anyway, so I said, I will figure out what this alkaline diet, the stuff is, because I had no idea, and many people won't either.
And let me just interject for most people who may not realize that cancers can't grow in an alkaline environment. Exactly. And nobody is taught that. Like, I'm so big on lifestyle, and your lifestyle is what leads to your body being acidic or alkaline.
Correct.
So that's why you were
Well,
definitely
and
on the right
I'm
path.
assuming that that's one of the reasons why the oncologist, she must have known that because there was a German scientist by the name of Otto Warburg who won a Nobel Prize in 1931 for discovering that cancer or any disease cannot exist if your cells are slightly alkaline. The scale goes from 0 to 14.
Yeah.
So as long as you're get to 7.1, you will stay alkaline, and algae is the most alkaline food in the world. But I didn't know that at the time. I also learned, so I discovered alkaline foods were mostly plant-based foods because of the chlorophyll and the phytonutrients, which also build your immune system. And my sister's doctor wanted her to have a strong immune system. So anyways, I found her all these great alkaline foods, including algae. She did change her diet. She did go through chemo, and she completely healed. In the process, though, I started learning about plant-based nutrition. Now, this was 16 years ago, and nobody was talking about plant-based diets then. So I thought, this is so powerful. Somebody needs to tell the world. Now, remember, I had no nutrition background whatsoever. I was just like falling Alice in the Wonderland down into the rabbit hole. But I thought, I got to do something. So I gave up my 25-year corporate career doing international business, nothing to do with nutrition. And I enrolled in the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, where I got a health coaching certificate. And then I put my own curriculum together on plant-based nutrition. And I gave workshops at hospitals and corporations. And this is truly what led me deep into algae, because as I was teaching people the importance of eating an alkaline, plant-rich diet, I got so much resistance because everyone said, my mother's been trying to get me to eat vegetables, but they give me gas, or they go bad too quickly, or my kids won't eat them, or my husbands won't eat them, or too much work. So I thought, okay, I have to find a way to get the green nutrition into people without any of the work, without any of the gas, without any of the mess. Back to everything I found for my sister. And when I got to algae, that's when the miracle happened. Because first of all, algae is the most nutrient-dense food in the world.
And what does that mean exactly? Can you break that down for us?
Well, we have a quote from NASA, who's been feeding algae, by the way, to astronauts for over 50 years, and they haven't told us about this.
Really?
We have a quote from them that says, 1 gram of algae has the same nutrition as 1,000 grams of fruits or vegetables. 1 to 1,000.
And what does 1 gram look like of algae?
Well, I'll tell you, another way to think about it is we sell the tablets in large bags of 1,000 tablets, and I use that quote to figure out how much nutrition was in a bag of 1,000 tablets.
Yeah.
And it worked out to 551 pounds of vegetables
Oh my-
in one bag. It's about this size. And visually, if it helps you, that's 30 grocery carts of vegetables
Wow.
in one of these bags. Now, we recommend people, we'll talk about dosage in a minute, but just to fill nutritional gaps, 10 tablets a day of spirulina and 10 tablets of chlorella a day would be sufficient. And we have a discount code for your community. But that works out to $1 a day. $1 a day to get 551 pounds, the nutrition of 551 pounds of vegetable. There is nothing in the world with more nutrition than algae. Even the United Nations has endorsed spirulina algae for 50 years because they declared it the answer to world hunger. And you can go online and,
wow. We'll
read
put that study in the show notes for sure.
Read their analysis, because spirulina has 3 times the amount of protein as steak. There is nothing in the world with more protein.
Are you looking for a simple way to enhance your health and feel years younger? You might be surprised to learn that one of the best longevity hacks is also one of the simplest by increasing your mineral intake. A staggering 97% of Americans have at least one mineral deficiency. It's not just a statistic, it's a wake-up call to take action for your health. The best part is you can start transforming your health today in just 30 seconds each morning. Get ready to feel and look 10 years younger. Imagine, turn back the clock on your skin's aging, boost your brain function, enhance sleep quality, and speeding up muscle recovery, all with a simple morning routine. Beam Minerals' unique formula includes flavonoids that bind to minerals that enhance the bioavailability and ensuring rapid delivery to your cells. Visit Beam Minerals now and use our exclusive code DINA, DINA, at checkout to get 20% off your first order. Elevate your health and longevity with Beam Minerals. It's that simple. Give your body what it needs. Give yourself the gift of longevity and vitality with Beam Minerals. Your future self will thank you. Go to beamminerals.com and use code DINA for 20% off. This is what really got me why I was loving ENERGYbits, especially your messaging about protein, because I think for women in midlife and even just in general, we are being pummeled with information on protein, and it's overwhelming. Like, how in the world am I getting 100
eat
grams
all day long? I know, and then you'll get so fat from eating all day long.
And it's stressful. People want to do what they feel like is right for your body. But I love the idea, or I didn't know, actually, you educated me on, can you repeat that statistic on the protein? Because I think that this is like a light bulb moment.
Yeah, it's the highest concentration by weight of protein in the universe. It's 3 times the amount of protein as steak. Steak is about 22%. Chicken, fish, nothing has more protein than spirulina algae. Ours is 64% protein. That's why it's very chewy when you chew it. Chlorella, which is the other algae, it has 60%. But nonetheless, there is nothing in the world with more protein than spirulina and chlorella algae. And to have the United Nations endorse it 50 years ago, and yet it hasn't really taken off because there hasn't been this understanding by consumers of what exactly algae is. They need to know that it's food. They need to know that it's a nourishing foundational food, and they need to have a safe source. So I addressed all those issues because, remember, I got into this just to help my sister and then recover from cancer. Then I learned more about algae and thought, well, I could help more people. And then I just kept going, and eventually I started the company. But I didn't say, I'm going to start an algae company. I just was trying to solve a problem
out there, because a lot of the algae, sometimes people will say, be careful, it could be filled with lead or toxic. Right. How can somebody determine what is the right source of an algae? What should they be looking out for?
Well, so the first thing to know is that algae is everywhere. Then there's 2 types of algae. There's macroalgae and microalgae. Macroalgae, we're not going to be talking about that much today, but it's that stringy stuff that washes up on shore, also known as seaweed. And it's only in the sea, which is why it's called seaweed. And it's good for you because it has iodine, because it's from the ocean, very high fiber, but virtually zero nutrition.
No nutrition.
Virtually, because I used to buy these bags of kelp noodles.
Yes.
And there'd be 5 calories in an entire
Right.
bag.
No
Because
calories.
there's no nutrition, but it's good fiber.
Okay.
Microalgae, which is what we're talking about today, it's not just in the sea, it's everywhere. It's the soils, the rivers, the lakes, and it's harvested as a food crop, which is how we grow it. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But it's completely opposite to macroalgae. First of all, it either has 0 fiber or virtually no fiber. Spirulina is not even a plant. It is a bacteria. So it has no cellulose wall, which is a good thing because it gets absorbed instantly into your body. This is why you can give it to newborns, children, pets, grandparents.
So it's safe for all ages.
All ages, no contraindications of any kind. So very fast absorption. But it has the most nutrients of any food in the world. And it has 40 vitamins and minerals, the highest chlorophyll in the world, the highest protein in the world. Just about chlorophyll, it has 500 times more chlorophyll than arugula, 25 times more than liquid chlorophyll. So
that's what's going to be my next question about liquid chlorophyll, because I was taking the pills, and I'll say some people probably complain it's too many pills. So then I found the liquid chlorophyll. So I was like, all right, I'll try the liquid chlorophyll. But they're not the same.
So when you take liquid chlorophyll, you're only getting chlorophyll. Think of it like a lot of people take fish oil, and I encourage people not to take that because it's usually rancid by the time you get it. But when you take in any individual supplement, it's like listening to a soloist. Algae is like listening to the orchestra because it has all of the things that you would find in the individual supplements. But Mother Nature has crafted this for us. We just grow it so carefully that we preserve all the nutrients, but it's Mother Nature's invention. And it has all the factors and cofactors and enzymes and coenzymes. So collectively, it synergizes each other. So you could listen to a soloist and enjoy that, but why would you listen to a soloist when you would listen to an orchestra, where it's so full of additional harmonies? Same thing with algae. Don't, yes, you could take chlorophyll, but why would you when you can take algae, which has 25 times more chlorophyll than liquid chlorophyll, plus 60% protein, 40 vitamins and minerals, all these antioxidants that protect you from all kinds of diseases, including brain fog and chronic disease. None of that is in chlorophyll. It's just the single thing is chlorophyll water.
Understood.
So,
and then talking about the vitamin complex, like, could this replace somebody taking the need for a multivitamin? Because I think that's actually huge.
Yes, because everybody I know has a countertop full of supplements.
Many things.
There's multivitamin, fish oil, biotin, CoQ10.
Because you could get too high in vitamins, like toxic actually, with some of the multivitamins, because some of them have too much, because people don't realize the term bioavailability. I say it's going to be one of the terms. Longevity and bioavailability is the terms of 2025. You want to think about of like, what is my body actually absorbing?
Correct.
Like you want whatever you're taking to do the job, but your body has to absorb it in order for it to actually work.
It's not what you eat, it's what you absorb.
Yeah.
So the problem with most supplements, and there are exceptions, of course, as with everything, most of them are made from synthetics and extracts, which don't exist in nature that way. So your body can't recognize them. The way I describe it to my millennials, it's like going to work with just your shoes on. Like, where's the rest of the outfit? When you take a supplement, like vitamin C is made from ascorbic acid, but true vitamin C has 222 components to it. So your body can't recognize these individual isolated extracts because they just don't exist in nature that way.
Yeah.
So when you take algae, and in ours in particular, we haven't used high heat to dry it. It is in its natural form. It's a raw food. It's a whole food. Spirulina is actually a live food. It would start growing again if you put it in water.
Wow.
So it's all intact. All the nutrients, all the factors and cofactors are there to support your body absorbing it. So it has 99% bioavailability, and it replaces all of these other ones. So you can save time, you can save money. All those other supplements, they don't, some of them you have to eat with food. Sometimes you want to eat separately with food. With algae, you don't have to worry about anything. It's all been done for you.
Take it whenever you can do it.
And the FDA considers it food because it's an ingredient in other foods. So, and even when you eat green powders, they've used high heat to mix the powders, and most supplements are used with high heat, and high heat deactivates enzymes.
Right.
And
it's like throwing it in a microwave. Like I don't use a microwave. Like you put in, I always say put in your coffee, you're not getting your coffee back with like the mineral components. Like
Yeah.
it's just completely energetically shifted and no one thinks about that.
Exactly. When you use high heat, which deactivates enzymes and deactivates some of the these pigments, like chlorophyll is a pigment, and there's a blue one in the spirulina called phycocyanin, also a pigment. Deactivated. The way I describe it is, hey, is like getting a great deal on a great car, except you lift the hood, there's no engine in it. So don't cheat yourself with the lower quality algae, most of which comes from India or China.
Yeah.
99% of all algae and it's all harvested as an agricultural crop. People need to understand this is not stuff that's grown in the ocean. Yes, there is algae in the ocean, but when you go to Target or Whole Foods or come to our website, ENERGYbits.com, this algae is grown as a food crop, as an agricultural crop. It's a multi-billion-dollar agricultural crop in Asia. It's almost as big as the beef industry is here.
What?
This is what's so stunning to me. They have been taking it every day for 60 years.
Wow.
The Japanese don't take supplements. They don't leave their house without taking chlorella algae every day.
Really?
And they have the lowest obesity rates, lowest cancer rates, great skin and hair,
Yeah.
and they're doing something right.
They're definitely doing something right because like our system is completely broken.
Our food supply and our crops are soy and corn and wheat, none of which have any redeemable nutritional value whatsoever. They're inflammatory. I do plan to start a huge agricultural industry here in America, in Florida, in fact,
Great.
because we grow ours in Taiwan, which is known as having the highest quality algae. And I drew a line, and algae is like growing
Why
algae.
is the highest quality there versus somewhere else?
Yeah, well, it's growing algae isn't like growing broccoli. It's like making wine. So when you make wine, the angle of the sun affects the quality. The production process affects the quality. So Taiwan is just in the right place for the highest concentration of nutrients. And I drew a line across from Taiwan, across the globe, across America to see where it would have the same climate.
Yeah.
Boom,
Where?
Florida.
Florida?
And I live here
No
now.
way.
So I'm going to be building a large agricultural industry here in Florida. It's going to take me 2 or 3 years and tens of millions of dollars, but America needs algae as an agricultural crop here. It should not all be in Asia. They've been growing it there for 60 years.
Wow.
And that's why most people don't know about algae because they say, well, because we're going to talk about some of the benefits. If it's so amazing, why don't I know about it? Well, because it's not grown here. So when you walk to school or you drive to work, you never drive by an algae farm. In Asia, they do. It's part of their lifestyle. They see it everywhere. Here we see tomato patches and corn flour. So that's number one. We don't see it. Number two, there's been no incentive for anyone to educate Americans about it. Everybody in Asia knows about it, but nobody. I've been doing this for 16 years now. I've done 200 videos. I write papers. We're doing everything we can to help people understand that yes, we are in a nutritional crisis. We're in a health crisis. But we have a solution, and the solution is algae.
Here, it's so easy.
It's algae because of all the nutrients that are found there, concentrated naturally and preserved if you get it from a good source like what we do. We can turn around this nutritional health crisis that we have if we give our bodies what it needs and take away what it doesn't. Spirulina algae gives your body what it needs, and chlorella takes away what it doesn't.
So let's start with spirulina then. So tell us why spirulina is so powerful.
Well, we call we have 2 brands of spirulina. One's called ENERGYbits, and the other one's BeautyBits. But ENERGYbits, spirulina has been known historically for providing energy, and the way and so when I talk about energy, we're not talking about a stimulant. A stimulant is like sugar, caffeine, or chemicals, and you get a burst of energy, and then you get a crash. It's sort of like putting paper on a fire. Spirulina generates energy at the cellular level. So it's like putting a log on the fire. You almost don't notice it.
Charging your batteries.
Charging your batteries. It's very, very steady. And that energy comes from a couple of reasons. One, first of all, has that high protein, as I mentioned. And most importantly, all that protein is already in amino acid form.
Okay.
Now, when you take normal animal protein, the aminos are all bound up, and it can take days for your body to break it down into these things called amino acids and then get absorbed. And very often you don't have all the factors, so it's a very inefficient way. But with algae, the protein, if you have 5 grams of protein, you get 5 grams of aminos. And then it's loaded with B vitamins that convert all these aminos into glucose. So you do get a relatively quick burst. It's not a crazy burst. You don't feel like you're a superhuman. It's just, you just feel alert. You just feel that you have more energy. You feel more focused. You feel more steady. And who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
And it takes away your hunger. So that's one way that spirulina gives you energy. It also has very high iron, which carries oxygen in your blood.
I need to bring that back because I'm always anemic.
Yeah.
So is my son.
This is really
We
great.
have no ferritin in our body.
If you have anemia or just want some, because without oxygen, your body can't function properly, and it keeps your cells alkaline, keeping the oxygen in the cellular level. So that's one. Those are 2 ways that it gives you energy. But the coolest thing that where spirulina gives you energy is because it has this antioxidant called, and it's a long word, superoxide dismutase, also known as SOD. Now, most of your listeners will probably have never heard of it, but I can assure you everyone in the scientific community knows about this stuff called SOD, because what does it do? It stops the damage of your mitochondria. And why is this so important? Because your mitochondria generate energy.
Yes.
Mitochondria are the powerhouses that generate all of your cellular energy. It's called ATP. And as you get older, these mitochondria get damaged. So there's fewer of them, and the ones that are still there aren't producing as much cellular energy. The way I describe it to people is like, in a building, you can't do any work if you don't have any lights on. And if the light goes out, you call maintenance, they come and repair it, easy peasy. In your body, when the mitochondria get damaged, it's like having your lights go out, except there's no maintenance person to call.
And when does this start to happen?
It starts actually at 30, the age 30. And by the time you're 40, you're really suffering. And this is exactly when women go through perimenopause and menopause. So what's happening? This stuff called SOD protects your mitochondria from free radicals, and your body makes it for you from the moment you're born, just like it makes melatonin, just like it makes hormones. But at age 30, it slows down all of those productions, including this SOD. And why does that happen at age 30? It's because we have been on Earth for 2 million years, and only in the last 150 years, we used to die at 30. Evolutionarily, biologically, our bodies think that we're going to shut down and die after the age of 30. So it slows down everything, including this stuff called SOD, which protects your mitochondria from free radical damage. Think of it like a big golf umbrella. If you ever get caught in a big rainstorm and you have one of those big golf umbrellas, you pop that baby up, you can protect 10 people from the rain. You don't stop the rain, but you are protected from it. That's what SOD does. It doesn't stop the free radicals because they're a byproduct of this cellular energy, but it protects the mitochondria because it turns it into harmless water and oxygen. But by the time you're 30, that big golf umbrella starts to shrink. And it's about the size of a totes umbrella. So now your mitochondria are dodging, the free radicals, getting a little damaged. By the time you're 40, that big golf umbrella is the size of a cocktail umbrella. No protection whatsoever. Now your mitochondria are dying and getting damaged, and now they can't generate cellular energy. Now your brain isn't functioning because your mitochondria, the highest concentration of mitochondria is in your brain. 2 million per cell in your brain.
It's interesting that you say that because I think for me, the first sign of aging, I called it mommy brain just because I thought it was having 2 kids. But it's probably just actually the mitochondria
Absolutely.
slow down.
Yep.
And I always say I love to help connect the dots. Like we never connect it to that. But if you were supporting it with, is it spirulina that helps
has the highest concentration of SOD in the universe.
Oh my goodness.
There is no SOD in food. And I think there's a couple of supplements, but they get damaged in your stomach lining. So there is no other source of SOD except from spirulina. But here's the trick. It's also an enzyme. So all those other cheaper algae,
like digestive enzymes?
Well, any enzyme is deactivated at high heat, whether it's in a piece of broccoli when you're cooking. All enzymes are deactivated at high heat. And all the lower quality algae companies in China and India, they cut corners to get to market quickly, so they use high heat. Deactivates that enzyme called SOD. So you can be getting it, but it's like getting that great deal on a car with no engine in it. We don't use high heat, so our SOD is preserved. Because I had to find out, why was our algae working so much better than anybody
others,
else's?
yeah.
And we've done our own clinical trials. It reduces inflammation in your brain. We've had people with Alzheimer's who couldn't figure out, their address to get home or turn on their microwave. And after 24 hours of using the spirulina, their lights went back on. Because the
Wow.
SOD, because spirulina is a bacteria, gets absorbed instantly into the mitochondria so that it can protect them, because your cells and your mitochondria are constantly regenerating. You don't store ATP. It's one of the things in the moment. So if you can start generating ATP instantly, you will start having more cellular energy to think, for your lymphatic system, to prevent chronic disease, for your sleep.
I mean,
everything,
there's just so many benefits.
everything
It's
works
pretty
better.
overwhelming.
But I'm on this mission to help people understand what this stuff called SOD is, because it's not out there in the
no, not at
general
all.
marketplace, but all the
You
scientists.
probably heard it here first.
Yes,
most
that's right.
likely.
That's
You'll
right.
definitely
Yeah,
hear it here
yeah,
first.
yeah.
I think for many of our listeners, we focus a lot on midlife.
Yes.
How can this type of algae help all the different symptoms? There's like over 30 plus symptoms in perimenopause.
Exactly. Well, brain fog is one, fatigue is another one, difficulty sleeping, digestive issues.
It checks all these boxes.
Skin
check.
issue. It checks all of them. And because SOD is the key to protecting
That's
your
the missing
mitochondria,
piece.
scientifically proven, by the way, there are 25,000 studies proving that this stuff called SOD stops Alzheimer's, stops
Wow.
heart disease, stops inflammation, stops fatigue, stops everything. But nobody knows that you can get it in algae if it's not heated.
Now, what is wheatgrass considered?
Well, wheatgrass is a vegetable, and it has high chlorophyll.
Right.
But spirulina and chlorella have even higher chlorophyll
higher.
and most chlorophyll water is made from wheatgrass or alfalfa sprouts.
Right.
So it's good for you. But again, why would you just take those in isolation when
You're
you
not
can
getting the complete
you get the
package.
you get the orchestra again from algae. So for women in perimenopause and menopause, you're feeling all these things, this brain fog, this fatigue, the irritations in your skin, digestive issues. And so much of it is related to this lack of superoxide dismutase, SOD. But women get hit double hard, because when they're in perimenopause and menopause, guess what else drops? Estrogen.
Your hormones.
Estrogen as a hormone. But one of the things that estrogen does is it protects your mitochondria. So now women are getting hit with a double whammy. They're losing their estrogen and they're losing their SOD.
Right.
So this is why they suffer more than men with these brain fog issues, and why it's so helpful for any kind of brain. If you have children on the spectrum, if you have Alzheimer's, if you have depression, there's a great book called Brain Energy, written by Dr. Chris Palmer. He's a psychiatrist and also a professor at the Harvard Medical School. And his book, Brain Energy, talks about how all brain issues ultimately are due to damaged mitochondria.
Yeah.
So if we can get those mitochondria working again, it's like turning your lights back on.
Yeah.
Everything, it like in your brain, in your hormones, everything will work better when you have more mitochondria working properly.
And then what does chlorella do?
So chlorella is a detoxing algae, and it does have this SOD as well, but about 2/3 less. So,
Okay.
so spirulina is the highest concentration of SOD. Chlorella has the next highest. But the main thing about chlorella is that it's a wellness and detoxing algae. And how does it do that? Well, it does belong to the plant kingdom, so it does have a cellulose wall, so it has fiber. So two things. That fiber feeds your gut biome, which helps with healing your gut digestion, because they create something called short-chain fatty acids, so that helps. Also, that fiber is the hardest cell wall in the plant kingdom. It attaches to heavy metals, glyphosate, pesticide, alcohol, lactic acid, and chelates them, which means pulls them out. So remember at the very
It
beginning,
helps your body to actually remove it. I think that's how I actually started using them,
the
is when I
mercury.
had the high mercury.
And we work with biological dentists who use it. They give it to their patients. They take it themselves. We are so surrounded by toxins. Even if you're eating organic, the vegetables still have...
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
We just
it's just
can't
the way
even
it
avoid
is.
it.
So the way that I describe chlorella is like giving your body a shower from the inside. It pulls all of these things out that shouldn't be there, that are intercepting into your cell membranes so that they can't function properly. So chlorella Chlorella is detoxing because of the fiber, feeds the gut biome. It pulls out all the toxins. It has the highest chlorophyll in the world. Chlorophyll kills bacteria. And I love people to go online and you'll see that the chemical composition of chlorophyll is identical to your red hemoglobin. So this is another thing about for people who are anemic. Chlorophyll builds your blood because it's virtually the same chemical composition.
I was taking it.
So, and you can't get more chlorophyll than chlorella algae. So that's another thing. The other thing I tell people about is that it's not just what you put into your body that determines your health and your vitality. You got to get rid of the stuff, I call it the junk in your trunk, also known as a bowel movement. And a lot of people, when they're on medications or they're eating dairy or they're stressed or they're eating processed foods or too much carbs, they get constipated. And that's not good because what happens is that stuff sits there and
toxic.
Your blood circulates around because the stuff that's there is stuff your body didn't want. It's like having a garbage truck parked right in front of your house permanently, right? So chlorella stimulates what's called peristalsis.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it replaces the need for fiber better than anything.
Okay.
Spirulina does not. It's only the chlorella. So, and one of the reasons we suggest chlorella at night is because it does this detoxing. It does the stimulate of the peristalsis. And it also has the highest tryptophan in the world, which is another problem women in perimenopause and menopause have is sleep issues.
Yeah.
So this has the natural 5 times more tryptophan than turkey. So it won't make you sleepy, but it will get you into a deep sleep. So now we've pulled out toxins. We're helping you sleep. It still has the SOD. It has something called chlorella growth factor, which stimulates the growth of your cell walls. It stimulates peristalsis, so you have that great bowel movement in the morning. So everything is going to work better. So that's why we want you to take both of them. Generally, people are hungry and fatigued in the morning. By the way, both of them have 0 carbs. So they're great for intermittent fasting. They're great if you're ketogenic.
I was just going to ask you, it doesn't break a fast.
It does not break a fast. By the way, if any of your listeners are carnivore, lots of people go carnivore because they had stomach issues from lectins and oxalates, which are found in many plants like spinach or kale. Plants, by the way, develop these lectins and oxalates to protect themselves from bugs and predators. Well, algae came from the ocean, so it never had to develop lectins or oxalates. So there's no lectins or oxalates. So carnivores, listen up. This is for you too, because we want you to have the chlorophyll. We want you to have the peristalsis. We want you to have that ability to kill bacteria. So spirulina, generally people take in the morning because it gives you energy, helps you with focus. It satisfies your hunger. If anyone's on a GLP-1, please take this because back to the protein issue.
You need to move.
We don't want you to be losing muscle mass. This has the highest protein in the world. We have little pouches. There's 30 pouches, 30 tablets in a pouch. This could be lunch. There's 1 calorie per tablet, 30 calories for lunch. Now, I will admit most people don't like the taste of spirulina because it's very chewy because of the high protein.
So do you swallow these or do you have to chew them?
So I chew them.
You chew them like food.
Yeah,
okay, because it is food.
Yeah, they're about the size of a baby aspirin.
So, and try one?
And sure, well, I'll give you the chlorella because most people like the chlorella. Each one of these tiny little tablets, has the same nutrition as an entire plate of vegetables. That's about a pound of vegetables.
Hold on. So a single is equal to a plate of vegetables?
Yes.
This little thing?
That little thing right there. That's about a plate of vegetables because that's the quote from NASA, 1 gram of algae.
Wow.
Okay. So mothers, kids love them because you know why? Turns their tongue green. They think it's hilarious. They turn it into a game. It's green. Now, I put sea salt.
Can you just swallow it?
You can swallow it. Yeah, you can blend it in a smoothie. I put sea salt on it, or I eat it with pistachio nuts.
Oh, I can see this with pistachios.
Yeah, with macadamia nuts is great for keto people.
And so how many do you need a day? How many in the morning?
Yes, so we generally recommend for just filling nutritional gaps, 10 spirulina in the morning and 10 chlorella at night, because this would build your immune system. However, if you are wanting to correct or prevent a particular condition, so if you had cancer, it's 1 in 2 women are getting cancer.
Yep.
So prevention is 30 tablets.
Really?
But
30.
Think about it. This will replace many of your multivitamins. You don't need a multivitamin. You don't need fish oil. Please stop taking fish oil. It's rancid. By the way, where do you think fish get the fish oil from? Algae. They just consolidate in their body. And we know that fish is a brain food. I call this brain food because
Yeah.
it has that SOD that helps your brain.
Now I have it
So
stuck in my teeth.
yeah, I know it's stuck in your teeth. So 10 for just nutritional gaps and 10 for immune health, but 30 for medicinal purposes.
If you have
if you've had
a
cancer
situation.
or a situation of any kind.
Okay.
Or for lunch.
And it's food. So
And it's food.
Can you ever take too much of
You
it?
can't have too much.
You
No,
can't. I
and
love that.
I used to have, I cut down a little bit, but I was taking over 100 a day
Yeah,
almost
explain
every.
how you look so gorgeous. Like the skin, and wait, you said you never have done Botox. I
No
think I
Botox,
have more wrinkles
everything,
than you.
Everything moves. Yeah. This is my own hair, no extensions. Someone said, "Are those your own teeth?" My own teeth. I'm fit. Honestly,
This is all algae.
This is
You're
all
not
algae. And I
alone.
have two sisters that I mentioned. One's older, one's younger. And I just look younger even than my younger one, who's 6 years younger than I am.
Wow.
And the only thing I have done differently, because we're all fit, is take algae every day.
Okay.
This is a foundational food that will change your life. I wrote a little book called The Algae Love Story because just like love, this is necessary. It's energizing. But you have to get it from a good source to get sure
Yes,
to be
I
sure
think
you're getting all
sourcing is
the
the most
nutrients.
important. And I think it's perfect to sort of segue, the way we usually close out. You've given us so much information today. Really, thank you. Hopefully your heads aren't spinning.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Spirulina, chlorella, need to add it to your everyday life.
Yes.
It is food. It is not a supplement. You are
not a
nourishing
supplement.
your body from the inside out. What is one drop of wellness wisdom you like to leave with our listeners today?
The very best things for us are the simplest and are gifts to us from Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And that's everything from sleep, movement, sun, and I include algae because it was a gift from Mother Nature. So, get away from the noise and just listen to the quiet voice inside, and it will direct you to the things that are good for you. And they're always simple, and they're usually from Mother Nature.
Yeah. Thank you. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much
You're
for being
very
with us.
Yes, and we'll make sure that people can go to the website.
Yes,
we have a discount code
where can
for
we
them.
find you?
ENERGYbits.com, and Well Drop will get your listeners 20% off anything.
Great.
And we have fun canisters and bags. So just
Definitely give it a try.
give it a
Report
try.
back.
Yes,
Let us
please
know.
do.
Your skin, I will say, when I was doing chlorella, I wasn't doing the spirulina, I don't believe, at the same time. But my friends were asking me, your skin looks amazing. What are you doing?
Beauty from the inside.
They really swore that I was like secretly doing something and
Yeah.
not telling them. And I was
Yeah.
like, I swear I'm really not.
Yes.
But now, after this conversation, I realized it must have been that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm turning 70 next year, and I don't take any
I mean,
medications, any other supplements.
Oh, I love this.
The only thing I do is take this every single day
no
religiously.
other supplements, nothing.
Nothing.
This is it.
I do take vitamin C because there's not a lot of vitamin C in
Okay.
here, so that's the only one I do take.
I
So
mean,
that's
I
the
think
truth.
that is a 5-star review here.
There you go.
All right. Thank you.